So earlier this week, it was my birthday and your girl turned 30. That's why I'm sitting down inside chair. I'm not too old to be standing. They say up here on the third floor, you're older and wiser. And while I don't quite feel any of the above yet, I'm ready to fake it till I feel it. So my name is Tamara and you are now watching The Yellow Wall, third floor edition.
Make I tell the matter. Still an agent butter with this pure water, but no be me go judge.
It's only the second week of my birthday month, and yet so much has already happened. Emily in Paris might win an Emmy, which is ridiculous. J-Lo and Ben Affleck are fully doing like it's 2003, and it turns out Drake of Drake and Josh fame is a pedo. He pled guilty and was sentenced to a 2-year probation for child endangerment, which is like the legal way of saying he was being super sexually inappropriate with a child. In other news that will shake your childhood, Sound Sultan passed away after a battle with cancer. Praying for his family and hoping that he rests in perfect peace. England made it to the Euro finals, but alas, it didn't come home and Italy won, causing closet racists everywhere to jump out of their holes and attack the black players. Which is their own problem really, because our boys are still rich and beloved, racist or not. The problems in Nigeria continue to stress us, but it's fine because the governor of Lagos caught robbers on the road. So clearly, soon we'll all be saved by our new superhero leaders who are busy doing X-Men instead of being, politicians. So hooray! So recently, the world's billionaires have been reminding us how poor we normal people are. Richard Branson, the man behind Virgin and worth a cool $5.9 billion, went to space earlier this week on a Virgin Galactic flight. And I'm sure there's maybe some business-related reason, but to be honest, I think it's just because he was rich enough to do it, so why the not? Even richer billionaire Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon and the owner of a whole $213 billion, recently stepped down as CEO. And his first move, now that he has some free time, him too, he's off to space. Because again, why the hell not? I love watching rich people do rich things because obviously it takes a certain amount of money for you to decide, I'm tired of everything on earth, I'm off to space. I also like when they do things like rent out an entire arena just for a date, like Drake did recently. And when they do things like shutting down an entire mall just so your mistress can shop, like I'm sure a lot of them do, and I'm waiting for one of them to please do for me. I love watching people show off their coin, but only when I know for sure that the coin is legit, which is why I hated watching the likes of Hush Puppy and I will not say that name in case the lights fall on my head again, but you know who I mean. But Tamara, how would you know? How can you even tell when one's money is legit? Who gave you that discerning spirit? Don't worry, my friends. I'm here to tell you because the topic of the day is how to spot dodgy riches. Way one, not being able to identify a source. As much as we all wish it did, money does not just fall from trees. Which means if you have billions of it, it shouldn't be too hard to see where it came from. Bezos made money from Amazon. Dangote made his money from selling everything from sugar to cement. So when you see people online whose money seems to have just fallen from the sky, then it's probably dodgy money. I mean, sure, sometimes people get an unexpected windfall of cash. And sure, instead of saving it, maybe they want to splurge a little. But if it seems like someone is popping bottles and buying cars and just misbehaving continuously after becoming rich, literally overnight, then I'm sorry, that money is suspicious as hell. Way two, unnecessarily frequent use of scripture. Look, there's loving the Lord, and then there's using the Lord to avoid answering the main question we're asking, which is how did you get that money? There's nothing I find more suspicious than a supposedly rich person being asked for advice on how to blow or how to make it like them, and they simply say, oh, we thank God. Oh, small girl, big God. What is that? If you're a religious person, then yes, you do thank him, but usually it's not for a specific thing. Thank God God grew my business. Thank God I made the right investment. Thank God, I'm just doing well at what I'm working at. But any just vague thank God, that money is dodgy. The ones that use whole ass Bible verses as their captions are the ones that kill me the most. You will post picture of yourself inside private jet. You will now put John 3:16 as your caption. How did you get there, sis? Anyway, to be fair, to a certain extent, I do kind of get this because, as I've said it before, even 419s and sugar babies, they have to thank the Lord. You have to thank God for letting your scam work. Thank God for letting you have big bum bum that will attract people who, have money to spend on big bum bum. And of course, you have to thank God that EFCC and FBI have not yet come to carry you. Amen. Way three, they abuse their rich people toys. As someone who isn't rich yet, I may be wrong about this, but I like to think if you work hard to earn your money, then you kind of automatically respect it. You know what you did to achieve it, so you respect what you buy with it. You are not just misbehaving. Which is why when I see people abusing luxury items just for the hell of it, or overusing things, even a whole billionaire Kylie Jenner does not overuse, then I automatically assume that money is not your own. For example, pouring numerous bottles of champagne out onto your bathtub. Not just a 35k champagne. $2 million champagne just out or onto your Gucci clothes just for the banter. Why this? In my mind, the only logical explanation is that it clearly did not take much for you to get that Gucci or to buy that champagne. Or even girls that burn their Birkins. It's because it's not your money that bought it in the first place. Even in this Lagos, when I see people using their expensive sports cars to drive like they're inside Mario Kart on these our pothole-filled roads, nobody can tell me that's not 419 money. Or it's not that it's their daddy's car. But even if it's their daddy's car, their daddy was probably stealing. So it's still 419 money. And don't even get me started on the ones that will be using private jets more than Uber. You have not yet seen the money to buy private jets, but you have money to be using it more than your inside car. It's not realistic. I'm not trying to say that there aren't rich people who go crazy and blow money. That's not what I'm trying to say. But there's misbehaving on occasion and misbehaving all the goddamn time. I mean, to be fair, there's spoiled rich kids who misbehave all the time, but technically those ones too, they even earn their money. So my point still stands. Wave 4, they always have haters. I know there's other billionaires, but my favorite is Jeff, so forgive me for mentioning Jeff 100 times, because I mean, he's the billionaireest of all the billionaires, so why not? So now, can you imagine a man like Jeff Bezos talking about his haters, all his riches, all his success, and he'll be there tweeting, they want to put me down, my enemies keep trying to get me, all these people against me, everybody's coming for me. And that's even probably a man who actually has real enemies, but him is not talking. People with money may be upset about like an up or two, maybe one or two people who are angry at them. But for the most part, they're too busy just chopping life. When you have bastard money, waiting concern the opinions of the poor. Which is why when I see people going on and on about their enemies, about their haters, about the people who don't wish them well and blah, 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 I'm like, fam, you are a fraud clearly, because which haters are you talking about? Why? How do you even have time to sit down and be counting haters if you are really so wealthy? You know, it seems suspicious. If you don't work your ass off for your riches, then I'm sure you have nothing to do but sit down and be thinking of all these imaginary ups. Rich people aside, I don't even understand people in general who are so convinced others have it out for them. Sure, yeah, as a human person, there may be 2 or 3, maybe even 10 people who hate you and may speak ill of you outside, but like, so why do you care? How does it really affect the grand scheme of your life? Why not just face your front and be doing you? And I'm especially confused by allegedly rich car dealers or real estate moguls, all these people who are rich but not like famous. They are selling houses there. Who is sitting around hating you? Nobody knows you. And finally, wave 5, they are always under suspicion. My final way to tell someone is making money under suspicious circumstances is also the most obvious. Just ask someone else. Just look around. Chances are, if someone is fraudulent, the streets are talking about it. The streets, the internet, and the FBI website that lists suspected criminals, they are all wonderful sources for the tea on fraudulent money. I get that the street is full of lies and false rumors. I'm not saying everything you hear there is true. But at the same time, facts are there. There's many people who the streets have accepted as rich. No one is out here whispering, oh, how does Tedola get all his money? We can see the money, so all other whispers are just cool gossip. But when people are buying 800 million naira house based solely on blogger money, or they start wearing only Gucci based on selling 3 houses in 3 years, then damn right the streets are going to be curious about where the hell that money came from. And somebody on those streets, be it lowly gossipers or a reporter with inside scoop at the EFCC, somebody will always have the real tea. So if you are suspicious, just ask around. The whispers will come to you. Now, people forming rich when they didn't get the money legitimately or they borrowed everything just to show off seems harmless enough and like something people should be allowed to do. And you know me, if you gotta flaunt it, I'm here for it. And if they were just running around being rich in secret, maybe safe, it's cool. But it's kind of messed up to go on social media and be posting PJ and Birkin when you know full well you didn't do a damn thing for that thing. It gives people the wrong impression and it can cause actual working people to feel like they are not doing enough or to even start now doing their own illegal/legitimate activities because they're like, hey, that's the only way to make it. It's not. As I've said, I'm a big fan of if you have it, show it. But please, let the it in question actually be your own. And for those of you wondering if this episode applies to sugar babies, yes and no. the ones doing their thing with rich men, to me, you are working there. So the thing you are using to show off on social media, yeah, you did earn it. So you flaunt that stuff. But the ones sleeping with rich, like married men, it's not sustainable what you are doing. Plus, it's still actually not your money. It's somebody's school fees that you are carrying. It's no handbag. So please find single rich man and just, they exist. They're out there. Leave these married people. It's somehow. And now it's time for Ask T, the part of the show where I answer your burning questions and give you top-notch advice that may help you but also probably will not at all. My office owes salaries and doesn't even have the decency to acknowledge it. Please advise. I don't understand people that have this kind of problem. If I am somewhere and I'm not paid to be there, then it's not me that's there. The minute, in fact, by January 1st, if I've not seen December salary, it cannot be me you will cite inside the office. If you're not paying your salary, then go to where they are paying salary. And I know it seems a bit risky, like, oh no, at least I have this job, so let me just stay. But sweetie, if you are staying there and they're not paying you, then you don't have a job, you have a slave master. So it's better you go and find an actual job. Or go and at least sleep in your house and know that you're resting, but nobody is using you. It's not a hard thing. There's also stealing from your office, but don't do that. Don't steal from your office. Steal your salary if you have to. I like this guy and I want to sleep with him, but he's in a relationship. What should I do? I mean, there's two answers to this question. There's my Christian answer and then there's another answer. So I'm of the belief that somebody else's happiness is not your business. It's not your happiness. So you should not let anybody block your joy. But at the same time, it's not good to be taking other people's property. So it depends. If there's somebody else that you like, want to sleep with you too, I don't know. There's so many. Look, don't do it. But if you like him a lot and you think, look, if you sleep with this person, they could actually be like your forever person. Like maybe people can marry. Maybe just maybe. Also, if the other person's girlfriend or boyfriend is a bitch, do it. Actually, no, don't do it. I don't know. Pray on it. Do it. If he's really hot or she's really hot, maybe do it. Don't do it, but also do it. I hope that was helpful. And that's enough for today. If you have any questions about absolutely anything for me, then go ahead and email them to asktamarayellowwall@gmail.com with only one W because economy is tough, so only one is enough. Actually, most of you don't actually bother to email, so just go ahead and DM Accelerate on myself on the Instagram and I will answer your questions maybe. And that brings us to the end of the episode. What's some of the wildest things you've seen people do with money? Let me know in the comments below or on our social media platforms, and be sure to make sure you're subscribed to Accelerate TV for all of our great content, including The Olive, which is almost over, so make sure you've caught up. My name is Tamara, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with more from The Yellow Wall.
Make I tell you the matter. Still an butter with this pure water, but no be me go judge.